How do I remove duplicates from a list while preserving order? How do I remove duplicates from a list while preserving order? Using a set to remove duplicates destroys the original order. Is there a built-in or a Pythonic idiom?
Here you have some alternatives. This URL. Fastest one. Why assign scene.add to scene_add instead of just calling scene.add? Python is a dynamic language, and resolving scene.add each iteration is more costly than resolving a local variable. Scene.add could have changed between iterations, and the runtime isn't smart enough to rule that out. To play it safe, it has to check the object each time. If you plan on using this function a lot on the same dataset, perhaps you would be better off with an ordered set, this URL. O1 insertion, deletion and member check per operation. Small additional note, scene.add always returns none, so the or above is there only as a way to attempt a set update, and not as an integral part of the logical test.
The best solution varies by Python version and environment constraints. Python 3.7+, and most interpreters supporting 3.6, as an implementation detail. First introduced in PyP 2.5.0, and adopted in Python 3.6 as an implementation detail, before being made a language guarantee in Python 3.7, plaindict is insertion ordered, and even more efficient than the also see implemented as of Python 3.5, collections.orderEdit. So the fastest solution, by far, is also the simplest. Like list set items, this pushes all the work to the C layer on Python, but since dicts are insertion ordered, dict.fromkeys doesn't lose ordering. It's slower than list set items, takes 50 to 100% longer typically, but much faster than any other order preserving solution, takes about half the time of hacks involving use of sets in a listcomp. Important note, the unique _everseen solution from more_tools, see below, has some unique advantages in terms of laziness and support for non-hashable input items. If you need these features, it's the only solution that will work. Python 3.5, and all older versions if performance isn't critical. As Raymond pointed out, in Python 3.5 where orderEdit is implemented in C, ugly list comprehension hacks are slower than orderEdit.fromkeys, unless you actually need the list at the end, and even then, only if the input is very short. So on both performance and readability, the best solution for Python 3.5 is the orderEdit equivalent of the 3.6 plus use of plaindict. On Python 3.4 and earlier, this will be slower than some other solutions, so if profiling shows you need a better solution, keep reading. Python 3.4 and earlier, if performance is critical and third-party modules are acceptable. As at Abinet notes, the more_tools library, pip install more_tools, contains a unique _everseen function that is built to solve this problem without any unreadable, not scene.add, mutations in list comprehensions. This is the fastest solution too. Just one simple library import and no hacks. The module is adapting the tools recipe unique _everseen, which looks like. But unlike the tools recipe, It supports non-hashable items at a performance cost. If all elements in iterable are non-hashable, the algorithm becomes O(n) squared versus O(n) if they're all hashable. Important note, unlike all the other solutions here, unique_everything can be used lazily. The peak memory usage will be the same. Eventually, the underlying set grows to the same size. But if you don't listify the result, you just iterate, you'll be able to process unique items as they're found, rather than waiting until the entire input has been deduplicated before processing the first unique item. Python 3.4 and earlier, if performance is critical and third-party modules are unavailable. You have two options. Copy and paste in the unique_everseen recipe to your code and use it for the more_tutools example above. Use ugly hacks to allow a single listcomp to both check and update a set to track what's been seen, at the expense of relying on the ugly hack, which relies on the fact that set.add is an in-place method that always returns none, so not none evaluates to true. Note that all of the solutions above are O(n), save calling unique_everseen on an iterable of non-hashable items, which is O(n) squared, while the others would fail immediately with a type error, so all solutions are performant enough when they're not the hottest code path. Which one to use depends on which versions of the language spec/interpreter/third-party modules you can rely on. Whether or not performance is critical, don't assume it is. It usually isn't. And most importantly, readability, because if the person who maintains this code later ends up in a murderous mood, your clever micro-optimization probably wasn't worth it.
In Python 3.6+, and all other Python implementations starting with Python 3.7+, dictionaries are ordered, so the way to remove duplicates from an iterable while keeping it in the original order is: in Python 3.5 and below, including Python 2.7, use the order edict. My timings show that this is now both the fastest and shortest of the various approaches for Python 3.5. When it gained a C implementation, prior to 3.5 it's still the clearest solution, though not the fastest.
Not to kick a dead horse, this question is very old and already has lots of good answers, but here is a solution using pandas that is quite fast in many circumstances and is dead simple to use.
If you want it similar, please consider subscribing.